it begins.
I wanna fly, can you take me far away? Give me a star to reach for, tell me what it takes. I'll go so high, I'll go so high.
Got 5 hole, and he scores it! A short-handed goal! Now Lexi makes it 1-0 Eagles! All the way back up top, lets it fly and scores! Through a screen, a bouncing puck. Not sure how that went in, but Pope Francis is headed to the garden.
Coming off a disappointing 1-1 tie to Reading, St. John's Prep looked to rebound as they found themselves 0-1-2 in the past 3 games. A win versus Catholic Memorial was also crucial in the race for the Catholic Conference title. After being down 1-0 heading into the second, a tip shot in from Jack Riley was able to find the back of the net to tie the game at 1 apiece. The score remained the same following the third period, as the Eagles earn a point in their third tie in the past 4 games. In overtime, Ned Malepsy was able to put back the rebound on a shot from Ryan Webb that propelled the Prep to a 2-1 overtime win versus Catholic Memorial, despite not gaining the second point from overtime. It was a good effort against a quality opponent and rival. However, it wasn't good enough. With just 6 regulation goals in the past 4 games, the Eagles needed to step up big and as soon as possible, as March was slowly creeping up on them. The offense is exactly what SJP brought to Austin Prep 3 days later. After trailing 2-1 following the first period, the floodgates opened, and SJP put up 5 unanswered goals to cap off a 6-2 win over the Cougars. A much-needed win, and one that would hopefully light a spark under the offense. That following Wednesday night, the Eagles hosted Malden Catholic, and unfortunately it wasn't backed by fireworks from the offense we had seen on Saturday versus Austin Prep. Scoring just 2 goals, however, was enough, as a strong performance from goaltender Noah Dorsey-Sorofman, as he allowed just 1 goal. This win brought SJP back-to-back wins in over a month as they look to make it 3 straight versus St. John's of Shrewsbury. Next up, the Eagles faced off against St. John's of Shrewsbury. Seeking their 3rd straight win, SJP was hopeful that this would be their opportunity to set the tone for the remainder of the season. Despite a late goal from Matt Taylor, it wasn't enough. The Eagles fell 2-1 to St. John's Shrewsbury. An upset for sure and a disappointing game all around. SJP had reached the point in the season where just about every game was a must-win if they intended on playing in the Super 8. 4 days later, the Eagles traveled to the Lawrence Forum to take on Andover in a non-conference game. Right off the bat, Andover showed they weren't going down easy, scoring 2 goals early. Their resilience was tested, but the Prep is able to battle back and tie the game at 2. After a waved-off goal from the stick of Ryan Webb, the Eagles persisted to score for the 3rd time. However, it was Andover who answered, regained the lead 3-2 heading into the locker room. A big period was needed to finish this one off, as hopes of a trip to the Super 8 dwindled away. Luckily, junior forward Jake DiNapoli was able to score his 2nd of the night to tie the game at 4 just a few minutes into the 3rd. Unfortunately, the Prep was unable to bury another despite a period of pure dominance to close it out. On February 8th, this marked the 12th annual Derek Hines Memorial Game versus Newburyport, a game always circled on the SJP calendar. Hines captained the Eagles during his time at SJP and recently had his number 23 retired. The game honors Hines, who passed while serving as first lieutenant in Afghanistan in 2005. 15 years later, his legacy lives on as the Prep won with plenty of tallies in the goal column. After putting up 4 goals in the first, the Prep never looked back, winning 10-2 and gained more momentum heading into the home stretch of the season. Down the final stretch of the season, the Eagles squared off against Mount St. Charles. A pair of goals from Ryan Webb and a shorthanded goal from Jake DiNapoli sent the Prep off to Billerica following the 4-1 victory over Mount St. Charles at home. At Hallenberg Rink, the Eagles put up 9 goals on Billerica in the out-of-conference game. Goals from Ryan Webb, Josiah Brown, Will Perry, and Ryan Hart sent the Eagles to a 9-2 victory. With just 1 game remaining in the regular season, the Eagles look to close out the regular season with a win over Needham on Senior Day. February 19th marked Senior Day as St. John's Prep took on Needham in the final regular season game. The 14 seniors led the Eagles to a 9-1 win over Needham. The win capped off the season with an 11-4-5 record, earning them the 4th seed in the Super 8. February 26 marked the first game of the Super 8 for St. John's Prep. The Eagles faced off against Catholic Conference rival Xaverian at Loring Arena. Prep looked to take down X for the 3rd time this season in hopes of moving on to the 2nd round. After a scoreless first period, the Eagles strike first as a slap shot from Captain Jack Gilligan put them up 1-0 after 2. Prep had all momentum heading into the 3rd period, as it was going to be crucial who scored next. After a great play on his own blue, Ryan Webb was able to bury the Prep's 2nd goal on a feed from Ryan Hart with 12:05 remaining in the game. Despite getting up 1 late, a great all-around performance led to St. John's first Super 8 win, with the final being 2-1. Next up, the Eagles faced the daunting matchup against 1-seed Arlington at Stone Arena. Upsetting the 1 seed in any sport is never an easy task, as Arlington was looking to prove just that. Having not lost a game since December, the Eagles had their hands full in this matchup. And so, in a sold-out Stone Arena on Sunday, March 1st, the Eagles and Spy Pounders took to the ice. After the first period, the Eagles found themselves down 3-0 against the Spy Pounders and needed to turn it around. Coming out of the locker room, the Eagles needed to ignite the comeback quickly if they wanted a chance to win. A 5-minute major on a hit that knocked Jake DiNapoli out of the game gave the Prep a prime opportunity to do so. Ned Malipsey was able to rip a shot top left to get the prep on the board, but unfortunately, it was the Eagles' only tally of the night as they fell to the Spy Ponders 3-1. The loss sent the Eagles to the losers bracket, where they now had to win 3 consecutive games to make it to the championship. Just a few days later, on March 4th, St. John's was back at Stardom Arena to face off against Catholic Memorial. The prep was 0-1-1 versus the Knights in the regular season, but that didn't matter anymore.
Welcome back to Stardom Arena, friends. We got some beautiful ice here. We have a beautiful game about to be played. It's the number 4 St. John's Prep Eagles and the number 6 Catholic Memorial Knights. They will battle for the right to move on and face the winner of BC High in Framingham.
To start off, senior captain Ryan Hart buried one early top shelf to make it 1-0.
The Knights, that one up high, and it knocks the bottle off the top of the net. It's the captain, number 14, Ryan Hart, senior from North Andover, makes it 1-0 Eagles.
Not too long after, the prep was on a 5-on-3 penalty kill. Just as Ryan Webb's penalty expired, defenseman Andrew Cole was able to send the puck, retrieved off a shot wide of the net, to Ryan Webb, who was already at the blue line.
In on Maleka, 5-hole, and he scores it! A short-handed goal! You called it. Watch that guy coming out of the box.
Webb was able to beat both the defender and the goalie to give the Eagles a 2-0 lead. Catholic Memorial answered, however, with a goal of their own to make it a 2-1 game. In the second period, the scoring continued, with sophomore Nick Townshend forcing a CM defenseman to turn the puck over on his own blue line to give himself a breakaway goal, followed by an iconic celebration in front of the SJP student section. Not too long after, Townshend was able to get himself his second of the night off a rebound from a shot from senior captain Jack Arian. This goal gave SJP the comfortable 4-1 lead. Despite getting one late, Catholic Memorial was never able to come back as Hart scored his second of the night late in the third to cap off the 5-2 victory. Now just 2 wins away from a Super 8 championship appearance, the Eagles were prepared to play whoever was in their way, even if they had beat them in over 2 years. SJP hadn't beaten BC High since the 2017 Frady's Classic. The prep was poised to change that and send their Catholic Conference rival home. Also, a win to knock out the back-to-back champions would make it that much more special. As the Eagles took to the ice at Loring Arena on Saturday night, March 7th, they were greeted by the largest prep crowd they've seen all year. The determination and desire to win was in the air like no other game played before. Soon enough, the puck was dropped and the game was underway. There was plenty of back and forth to begin the game, but it was St. John's who found the back of the net first. 5:21 into the game, Ned Malipsey was able to force a turnover on BC High's defenseman and bury the shot top left. It was a huge momentum gain early for the prep, but it wouldn't be enough to beat BC High. The score remained 1-0 after the first period. However, 3 minutes into the second period, SJP found themselves on the power play and had a prime opportunity to extend their lead. Just 13 seconds into the power play, Malipsey was able to tack on his second of the night from a rebound on a shot from Jake DiNapoli.
And I believe it was Malipsey once again.
A battle on both ends of the ice all night, BC High wasn't going down without a fight. They answered just 3:35 later to get within 1 again. The score remained 2-1 heading into the third period. After 10 minutes went by in the third, Colo Bellotto was sent to the box, which gave BC High a chance to tie the game at 2 apiece. The SJP Eagles headed to the penalty kill for the most important kill of the game and their season. All period long, BC High was getting momentum leading up to this point. Senior goaltender Noah Dorsey-Sorokin had played an excellent game all night, fending off BC High's scoring chances left and right. Unfortunately, a wrist shot through traffic was able to get through to find the back of the net, tying the game with just 5:05 to go. Soon enough, the game was headed for overtime. The next goal scored would send one team home and the other to face off against Pope Francis for a chance to play in the championship. With momentum on BC High's side, it was going to take perseverance and grit to be the team to score next. Off the puck drop, BC High was able to win it and get a few shots off early. But once the Prep gained control, it only took one rush down the other end. Senior defenseman Will Perry was able to get a feed from his partner Andrew Cole for a shot that was blocked and returned right back to him. Perry was able to reposition himself with the puck and wound up for another slap shot. The rest is history.
It's moving on! A rifle from Will Perry! And the defending champs have been vanquished!
The energy in Loring Arena after that goal was like no other before. The dogpile and pure chaos in front of the student section capped off the most iconic win of the season. It was truly a magical night for the Eagles, and a win no one will ever forget, as the Eagles were now just one win away from advancing to the Super 8 Championship. And so it was a wrap, as the Eagles have put themselves in the position they were looking to be in all season long, the opportunity to go to the Super 8 Championship. Back at Loring Arena just 3 days later on March 11th, the Prep geared up for the Super 8 semifinal versus Pope Francis. The Cardinals were coming off back-to-back Super 8 Championship losses and were motivated for revenge in 2020, while the Eagles were hoping to make it to the Super 8 Championship for the first time since 2016. From the initial puck drop, it was a battle, back and forth all game long. It was Pope Francis, however, who scored first just 3 minutes into the game, but a shot from Will Perry was redirected into the net by Ned Malepsy to tie the game at 1, heading into the second period. Patrick Moran was able to give the Prep the lead, making it 2-1 off the face-off with 5:53 left in the second. That would be the score heading into the third period, as the Cardinals were continuing to put pressure on SJP despite being down 2-1. Pope Francis was able to put one home off a 5-on-3 power play, tying the game at 2 apiece. We would head to another overtime game, the second one in a row for St. John's Prep. After a couple chances by both teams, it was Pope Francis who was able to score first in overtime off a bounce that found its way home.
A bouncing puck. Not sure how that went in, but Pope Francis is headed to the garden.
Despite falling to Pope Francis, it doesn't take away from the remarkable accomplishments this team made all season long. With one of the greatest seasons in recent history, I was proud to be able to call these hockey games for 4 years. This team was tremendous all season long and represented their school and their team in a very positive way. An extraordinary season it truly was for SJP hockey.
Joe. Hey! So much. One false move in a game go bust. Cardi and catch 2020 in a clear view. You man, I don't fear you. Act up, we gon' match up, bro. Fear you. Brody, catch your body, I'm gonna leave you in the rear view.
I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you. Can't be